everybody. Hope you're all having a wonderful week so far. Just want to put out a video to give you an idea of what led me to collecting this series, my intent for showing this figure collection off, and also what you can expect from this video series. So obviously my channel is most well known for 5.2 Toys, Beast Box, Mega Box, and Infinity Box figures. I have no intention of slowing down on any of that stuff. That's something I'm still very interested in collecting and talking about, sharing information on, and making videos about. Star Wars Black Series is just kind of a whole other thing that I got into. There again, the intent of this video was just to kind of tell you what I'm doing with this figure series and what you could expect from future videos from me about Star Wars Black Series. So I'll just start off by saying Star Wars Black Series is something that has always piqued my curiosity. This is actually kind of an old series. I think it's been around for well over a decade now, and they keep on going. It looks like Hasbro has no intention of slowing down on this series. So for somebody who's coming in really late in the game like myself, that's actually pretty good news. So there have been a lot of series over the years that I have seen and kind of found out about kind of late in the game. And in every other case, it was kind of a deal where I felt like I'd waited probably too long to get into the series and missed out on a lot of the cooler stuff that I would have wanted to collect. And, you know, that was kind of the case with Star Wars Black Series as well, for the most part, up until recently. So as far as what led me to collecting these, it's a pretty lame story, but it basically started with me browsing for stuff on Big Bad Toy Store, and I happened to find a really cheap Mandalorian figure. So something else I'll say about Star Wars Black Series figures is they generally go for about $25 a pop at retail, and they are essentially a deluxe style figure. They're larger than a typical action figure, which is usually like 3.5 or 4 inches or something like that. And they have an extreme amount of detail and articulation, and you know, price wise, I think that seems about right. But I did find this Mandalorian figure on Big Bad Toy Store for $12.50. In my mind, that seemed like an awesome deal. And I kept looking on the site, you know, just finding other Black Series figures. And I realized that, hey, they've got several on here that are about the same price, and in some cases below $10. And, you know, to be clear, I am not coming at this as a completionist. So that is kind of another point in my favor for jumping into this series. My intent really is to get some key characters from the series that I'm into, which so far is the original trilogy, the Mandalorian universe, and the Rogue One / Andor series. But having said that, I did go a little bit haywire after I started picking these up. It's kind of one of those deals where I picked up one, found another cool one that I liked, and, you know, another one that was related to that figure, and it just kind of kept snowballing from there. Basically, my first order was back at the tail end of January, and since then, my collection so far has exploded to about 4 dozen figures. There are many more on my list, and, well, I got a bunch of them in my pile of loot, Big Bad Toy Store. I even have a couple on pre-order that are going to be coming out in July. Yeah, having said that, I would imagine that I am actually going to be settling down in these significantly pretty soon. At this point, I'm invested in it though, and I'm probably going to continue looking for a few to pick up here and there, but this is definitely not going to be an all-consuming venture. So, as far as reviewing these, well, I am actually working on that. I'm still trying to figure out what format that's going to take, but at this point, to be honest with you, I can't imagine that I'm going to want to spend much time on any one of these figures per video. At least right now, what I think I'll land on is about a 5 or 10 minute review of each figure. You know, just talking about its details, you know, different features that it has and that kind of thing, and concluding with a rating system that is not at all unlike my Beast Box reviews. Basically, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time in post-production on these. That has been kind of a good and a bad thing for my Beast Box videos. I can put in a lot of interesting and funny stuff in there that you normally wouldn't for kind of a quick turnaround review type video. Obviously, if you've watched my videos, you know well enough that for my Beast Box reviews, they tend to not be that. So they do require more time to produce, obviously. I don't want to do that with this series, and I don't think there's a whole lot to really say about each individual figure that would stretch it out, you know, to a 10 or 20 minute video or something like that. So the intent here, at least for now, is to try to keep it kind of short and tight. Having said that though, I am thinking that there may be some feature videos that I want to throw into the mix. Like, for example, my collection from a particular series, just showcasing all the figures that I have for that series or that sort of thing. So again, the actual format is to be determined, but that's what's on my mind at this point. So there's still a lot in the works for what I'm going to wind up up doing with this figure series. And, you know, what you're seeing on screen, as far as what you're looking at right now, this is everything that I've pulled out of the box so far. And I have to tell you, you know, these figures are really good. Very impressed with this series. For the most part, they're really lifelike. I mean, I've seen some videos from other dudes where, you know, from some of the older figures where they talk about them, they look, you know, their faces are absolutely ridiculous. They, you know, have kind of dead eyes or whatever. But, you know, like with like Luke Skywalker in particular, if you look at his earliest Black Series releases, they really do not look good at all. But there again, being an advantage to getting into this series really late in the game, I have the advantage of Hasbro having really fine-tuned their face detailing and just like their production process and that kind of thing. So in the case of Mr. Grief Targa here, as played by the late Carl Weathers, rest in peace, Apollo, you have, at least in my opinion, for a mass production piece, a very lifelike looking head sculpt of this figure. I mean, this is absolutely phenomenal. So why wouldn't I be into this series? And by the way, I picked this dude up for $10, something like that. I think a little bit under $10. So yeah, this is like a win-win. I mean, I grew up with Star Wars, and you know, it's something that I've kind of been into for my whole life. To have figures like this that are this high quality at a price point that isn't going to break the bank, I mean, why wouldn't I get into it? So there again, even the supporting cast characters are really, really well done. Obviously, this particular one, Bix, is not an action figure oriented type character. She really doesn't do much in Andor Season 1. I think she's going to have a bigger role to play in the second season, though. By the way, if you have not seen the trailer for Andor Season 2, stop what you're doing, go watch it right now. It is freaking incredible. Definitely a series that I'm looking forward to. That's coming out next month. Yeah, we're talking March. I guess it's going to come out in the third week of April, something like that. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be fantastic. But yeah, Bix here, very nice head sculpt and the whole bit. Really nice detailing on the hair, the whole bit, the cloth, clothing, you name it. And she's got this little data pad thing here with a cartridge that removes. I can't remember if that happens in the show or not, but one way or the other, they're all so fantastically detailed that I think it's absolutely worth taking the time to put a spotlight on each one of these figures. So as far as I'm concerned, these figures are, as far as action figures go, if you relate them to the Transformers universe, equivalent to the Masterpiece series. Really beautifully done figures. And as a little bit of an added bonus for those of you who follow me for everything related to 52 Toys Beast Boxes, Unis here is a 7-inch figure, and I think he fits within this line. I mean, he's a little bit taller than most of the other figures. I believe Chewbacca is going to be about the same size as him, but you never know. It's one of those deals where the size is similar, so if you're feeling a little adventurous, you could have some character crossover. So but yeah, he's not part of the series, obviously, so he's not going to be in the final shot. So at any rate, that's just me giving you a quick heads up on what's going on with this series. Still working on it, still in development, trying to work out a rating system, just whatever's going to wind up making sense for this series. Yeah, I want to do something cool with it, so I want to have something unique and my own thing to do with this. So again, be on the lookout for it. If it's something you're interested in, definitely appreciate you coming on board and taking the time to watch my videos. As always, I appreciate all of my viewers. So yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Look forward to talking to you again soon. Have yourself a great week.